I'm so glad to be here, man. You know, believe it or not, I grew up about 2 hours down the road. If you take them right, I mean, 10 left side of the parking lot, right up 12, another left, and the first right. That's the 2 miles. That's where I grew up at. And you know, so I'm very, but I've never been on this road before. I've never been up in here, but I just thank God that I'm here. Tell my story. My story is a long journey. It's probably about a 40-something year journey. I'm a guy that did everything he could not to be that guy. I thank God for it. He made you that guy. A lot of times, life pushes you up in the front to do the things that you got to do. So I'm here right now to talk to you about how God and life just pushed me to the front. A lot of things you didn't want to do, you had no idea that you were doing, but God. And you'll hear a lot out of me, but God. It pushed you right up to the front. When I grew up right down on Henson Road right there, about 3/4 of a mile down, I was 16 years old. My coach, Joe Gant, said, hey, get up every morning and run to school so we'll be all right in track. But you're too little. You're a good football player, but you're too small. You're not that good at basketball, and you probably won't get a scholarship there. But if you run, I think I can do something with you. So I got up every morning, my senior year, and I ran from my house all the way to Y High School, which was about 5 miles, to get a scholarship. I didn't know what I was doing. Everybody thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy. But I did. And that turned the tide of my life when I started winning. I started winning. And you know, when you start winning, you get this big head. You get the big head and I'm the man. I do anything I want to do. I go anywhere I want to do. I'm the man. So I did get a scholarship. They sent me, Jackson State sent me a scholarship, but they also sent about 35 more people scholarships from all over the world. And it was 3 or 4 years before I even won a race. Can you imagine for a guy that's been winning all his life, could win? So, that being said, you know, I'm a 17, 18-year-old running against 30-year-old that had international experience. So I got beat up a lot. I got beat almost every week. I went out in Texas, there's 150 people started. I was like 149 to finish. So it was pretty bad. It was pretty hard. That's just part of me getting a big head. Okay, so after college, you know, I wanted a job, but you know, in '85, the job market wasn't that good. So I went to the military. For some reason, they pushed me to the front again. Pushing to the front. So you get an Air Force and everybody up there whispering to you, hey, little, use your van. And so, you know, you get promoted, you're leading things and everything. You're all over the place. I'm like, oh my God, this is really easy. This is fun. I get to go back on winning again. But then, at the end of the 4 years, you're tired. After they sent you to Alcin Laurier down in Panama, in those jungles, you don't want to do that no more. But I did. We did what we had to do. I got out. Just so happened, my wife at that time, we moved to Atlanta. And I'm looking for a job. First job I had, the first real job I had, besides working with my dad cutting wood, was Church's Fried Chicken. And in that business, fast food, at that time, everybody would lie, cheat, steal, and anything else you could think of. So I was like, oh, Lord, I don't want to do this. But I heard this advertisement on TV. Hey, you can become an Atlanta police officer. We pay you this much money. I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. So I started the process. It takes 9 months for me to do the background and everything because I've been all over the world. A lot of things they couldn't tell nobody about that I was doing. But that's what I did. So you get out there and you're a police officer. Now I'm a police officer, yeah. Yeah, I can tell you. Now I'm a police officer for like a good 10 or 12 years. And life pushed me to the front again. I made Peace Officer of the Year. I got the big head. I got the big head. But one day you wake up because you sold yourself out to the job and you was never home. You saw the kids, but you didn't see the kids, you didn't really know them. When your kids say, we're going to the park, I will wake up Daddy, but I know you got to go to work. That's when you know you got a problem. So, but I got the job over here. I'm doing this. Peace Officer, yeah, I'm the man. I'm running the whole city, man. They put me in a car with a tank full of gas and I can go anywhere I want to and do everything I want to. I'm good. And then all of a sudden, that thing that you love so much, say, hey, I'm tired. I can't do this no more. All life changed. The whole life changed. Like, oh man, she don't deserve all this. I know she can relate. I know you can relate to this blessing. I know. I said, she don't deserve this. So you give it up. You move back here and you buy a logging company. And she said, look, I'll come later. You go, man, I'll come later. But about the middle of the race, she's like, no, I had enough. I'm through. So you move back. You move back from Akron back to Atlanta. So you get close to the kids that you gave up everything for. You feel like you gave up everything because you were sold out to the job, but you forgot about the family. You forgot about the agreements that y'all made and everything. I moved back. And then, same one that I love more than I love myself, wouldn't let me see my children. And I made a mistake. All the training the Air Force gave me, all the hands that they taught me to use at 15, all this training that the police department gave me, it all came out. But somebody said 3 words, 3 or 4 words, just a very few words. Because I wanted to. Your whole life changed. Your whole life changed. I've been in church all my life. I've been in church all my life. I went to church while I was policing, but every Sunday you had to get up early to go to work because I worked in the evenings. You have to leave at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Make sure you get on the other side to sit. Go here to tell my story so you'll understand a little bit of what I got going on. It's all about power. So the power came into play when people, after you quit doing an aggressive job that requires a lot, and you keep doing it and people don't do exactly what you tell them anymore. Hey, I need you to do this. No, I don't have to do that. Who's supposed to be? And you ask in a way that you never thought you would ask. You know, doctors call it PTSD. I call it power. I call it power because I had a dickhead. Because everything, life pushed me up to the front. Yeah, Dave, why are you telling us all of this? I'm telling you all of this because for the next 24 years, 6 months and 8 days, I spent in the prison because of my actions. But God didn't forget about it. This is the part I want everybody to hear right here, because God didn't forget about you. As a former police officer, whenever you get in trouble, you're not with everybody else. You said it. I wasn't eavesdropping, but I heard a little part of you guys' conversation. So, y'all can relate to what I'm talking about. As a former police officer, you're segregated. You're not with everybody else. For 3.5 years, I was by myself. Only people that you talk to, the guards came around once or twice a day. And when you had a visit, and you took a shower, which was only twice a week, and when that mouse ran across the floor to talk to. If anybody saw, what was it, Shawshank Redemption? Yes. It really happens. I know y'all think it's a joke, but it really happens. But you sit there and we'll talk to him. And you think, oh man, I'm losing my mind. But God, again, but God. That's the first thing I prayed for. He's gonna let me lose my mind. And he did. Because at the breaking point, when I was almost to break, in 2006, I had been there 5 years, right in 5 years. Right down there, by myself. I'm just about to break it. I said, Lord, I don't know what you gonna do with this. I can't do this no more. I don't want to do this no more. But God showed up and showed out. I got on the phone and called my girlfriend. She said, hold on till in the morning. This was on a Friday. She said, hold on till in the morning. I'll be there. Mind you, Atlanta was 4 hours away from where they had. So, in those 4 hours, that Friday afternoon, that Saturday morning, God spoke to me. He said, I got you. You got to trust me. I'm like, man, look, they don't move me from this side of prison to this side of prison. And then you flush the toilet and the toilet run over. Okay, you clean all the water off. And then the guy upstairs flushed the toilet and the toilet run over. And everything out of his toilet is running down on you. I'm like, Lord, I can't do this. I'm not doing this. But God shows up. Monday morning, after my girlfriend come up, you all right? You all right? You all right? Yeah. But that Monday morning, he said, no, you leave. But God, he showed up. That was the first time he shows up. He shows up big time. He got me to a place where I was walking around like I was almost free. I'm talking about it was just open and you walked around and you went outside and you did everything that you were supposed to do. He was having fun. It's like he was almost free after being in a cage for so long. He shows up. Mind you, at this point, in my sentence, I'm all peeling and doing everything. Everything is going the way it's supposed to go. But I know I got one of the biggest conflicts of interest anybody will ever have. Because how can a lawyer represent you and the victim at the same time? I said, oh, I got these. I said, oh, man, I got this. But God said, no, not right now. I got work for these two. Man, I don't want this work. I'm tired. He was letting me go. But he did. But he put me around a few kids that said, I need you. I was like, man, well, you ain't got no parents or whatever. I don't have all the stories. I had the best parents in the world. I had the best support system in the world, man. People said, you know, if you're locked up, people send me money. They come and visit you. They send me pictures. You make phone calls. You got the best situation that you're supposed to like. Right? They paying for your lawyers. They're doing everything they can do. So I had one of the best systems. But God said, no, not right now. I need you to meet a few people. So I said, well, yeah, okay, let me see what I can do. Mind you, at this time, the prison afforded me an opportunity to get up and teach classes. Every day I could tell a story through the classes. I could help a young man through the classes. And I never knew how much being a grown man meant to somebody who never had a father figure. There was one time this kid, everywhere I went, it seemed like he followed me around. I was like, oh, Lord, what's wrong with this kid? Is something wrong with him? What's wrong with him? I called my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, this what's happening. Look, everywhere I go, this kid just followed me around. He said, are you doing what's right? I said, yes, sir. He said, what are you doing to make him, what can you do that he admired? I said, I'm getting up every morning, I'm cleaning up, I'm being grown. I'm doing what a grown man's supposed to do. At this time, I'm probably about 50 years old. I know I look like I'm 62, but I am. So he said, no, he probably see something in me that you don't see. So I got a brother that lives in Canton that's a minister. I called him, I said, bro, look, this is what I got going on. Everywhere I go, this kid that's 24 years old, he following me around. Everybody come sit on my bed. I'm like, what's going on with him? He said, my brother's the minister said, Paul had Timothy. I'm like, okay, Paul had Timothy. Okay. Moses had Aaron. I said, okay. This kid got you. I'm like, oh, okay, what that supposed to mean? He said, and then it was a minister that got locked up that was right there with me. And he said these words. He said, no, you're the only father figure you ever had. And he's watching you. You know, so you know somebody's watching you. It makes you act a different way. It makes you act a way because you know that person watching you. So you don't want to mess it up. So every time he saw me get out of character a little bit, maybe use a profane word or just a little bit of profane action, he would leave it over my bed. Just to know, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, oh my God. Just think about it, man. Somebody making you accountable. Somebody you don't even really know making you accountable. It's really big. Okay, this kid, he goes and he starts working inside the prison, he get on the fire team. That is, they go out and fight fires. Go out and fight fires, and when they get out, they go be on the fire department. I go, okay, I get my work with him, Lord, now I can go. He said, no, I got some more. And he kept on saying person after person after person. And then I was like, okay, Lord, is this enough? Every time I came up for parole, they would send me a letter. No. First time, hey, we need you to stay 3 more years. Oh, man, okay. Okay, did the 3 years. And the second time, they said, hey, we need you to do 2 more years. Okay, I did the 2 years. The third time, hey, we need you to do 1 more year. Then we'll look at you again that shit. I did that year. They said, hey, we need you to do 1 more year. We'll look at you again. That's 4 times, right? 4 times. Yeah? Okay, I did 1 more year. Hey, we need you to do 1 more year. It's 5 times. I was like, okay, do you want one more year? Hey, we need to do one more year. True story, y'all. Hey, okay, 6 times. Well, the 7th time, they sent a lady down to talk to him. You get to talk face to face with a situation like mine, you get to talk face to face. So the lady said, she asked you about 50, 60 questions. Mr. Miller, blah, blah, blah. Hey, where you gonna live? Where you gonna work? How much education you got? All of this kind of stuff. And I was like, how many disciplinary reports you got? And all of this stuff. She asked that. And you know, on paper, I was the golden child. And I thank God. But God had it so it was way bigger than me. He had the administrators, the guys over in prison, the wardens and the superintendents and the captains and stuff like that. All of those people wrote letters and put it in my file. And she started looking at it in the computer and she started reading them to me. And I was like, oh my God, they said that? Yeah, they did. I'm like, okay. So what is going on? Well, I can't tell you that. I said, look, I've been on the road 7 times, you know. And 6 months later, I get a letter saying, Mr. Miller, we got 3 months. In 3 months, we got to go contact the victims, the victim advocates, the DA, the judges, everybody to see you go home. And that's what they did. And one of the people they contacted was my son. This son didn't know me because he was 4 years old when I got in trouble. He was 4 years old. By this time, he was 27. Mm-hmm. And then one thing, let's backtrack just a little bit. This son asked me the day I got in trouble, why didn't you do what you did to get in trouble? When he was 4 years old, he came to see me for the first time. That was the first question he asked. Why did you do what you did to get in trouble? And I said, I'll tell you when we get older. Mind you, 27 now, then. So, going fast forward 23 years, he graduated college. He graduated high school, college. I thank God he's going to walk across the stage next week with a PhD. Yeah, he's going to walk across the stage with, oh Lord, thank you. He's going to walk across the stage with a PhD. And I asked him, I know I'm getting a bit off course right here. It's not, like I said, my story, I have a problem out of order. But I asked him, I said, look, you had every opportunity to just give up and quit and not do everything that you were supposed to do. You could use me as an excuse to drop out of high school or drop out. But you about to be up, they about to call you doctor. What made you do it? He said, it's just something I wanted to do. I just had that drive. That was a good fit. Not because of me. But a lot of times you thinking people not looking. He got the drive from, if you can do this in prison, I know I can do it without you. And he did. He did really good. So, but when he told me that at 4 years, they asked that question at 4 years old, why did you do what you did? I said, I'll tell you when you get older. So he got like 24, he said, okay, you told me he didn't forget from 4 years old to 27. What did you do? Or why did you get in trouble? And for 2 years after that, I told him. I tell you later. No, you promised to tell me that. He was getting upset. He got a degree in sociology. So, you know. But I said, after 2 years of this, one of the counselors said, no, you got to tell him your story. Tell him your truth. But that is not what I did. I said, I tell you what, when you get home, when I get to see you again, I haven't seen him in 20 years. I didn't see him for 20 years. 20 years. Well, 19 years and probably 8, 9 months. From 2006 to 2025, I didn't see him almost 20 years. And you know, it didn't even matter what I did to get in trouble because Daddy was home. So it was a good thing. But I still got those transcripts waiting for him to see. So he could answer those questions that he had. Okay, those 3 months was up. Those 3 months up, they checked everybody, they called people, they did everything they were supposed to do. They sent them to a transitional center. I was like, oh my God, thank God. I get a little work and make some money. It was the hardest life. That's the hardest 8 months I ever lived in my life. Getting up, going to a job, then having to come back into a facility. It was hard for me. because I want to be free. But God knew what He was doing. He was preparing me for everything that I have to go through. I only been out since October 16th, 2025. October 16th, 2025. God blessed me with a great support system. He blessed me with a great church. He blessed me with people like this husband and the brother there to want to hear the story. He blessed me with a friend from the second grade that's still my friend. He blessed me on the same journey to get some lawn equipment from working in the transitional center. Somebody giving me some lawn equipment, a zero turn, a closed-in trailer, a pickup truck, a push mower, a weed eater, and everything else you need to cut grass. So I wouldn't have to go work for anybody else in that, this environment like I just came out of working at a sausage plant. I thank God. I thank God. I left a lot of holes in my story, because I want you guys to ask me questions. I left a lot of holes, a lot of things I didn't say. Yeah, it was hard to lose both your parents. It was hard. But God made sure I had the right counselors in the right place. It was hard to lose your sister. But God made sure the counselors did exactly what they were supposed to do. It was hard when they had one of your sons going straight. But God was right there to catch him and do everything that he needed to do. It was really hard to live with people that didn't like you. But you had one different day, get up and face that world that they wanted you to live in. It was hard. I'm not saying I had an enjoyable time in prison, but God showed up and showed out. He showed up and showed out. Now, I gave you bits and pieces of my story. I know somebody got some questions. Please ask me anything that you want to know. Yes, ma'am.
Did you get to phone search with the people that you, what kind of that were under you, like the 24-year-old you were talking about? Did you get to stay in touch with him?
He calls all the time. And believe it or not, he got 3 or 4 years before I did, and he wasn't doing that good a couple of months ago. But he was still looking for that motivation. He's still looking for that encouragement. He was still looking for that father figure, that somebody to say, and he even asked me for a few dollars. And I thank God had it for me to give to him to help him out, because he done moved to another state, and there's calls up down right in the state, and the support system not that good. And it was really a blessing for me to be able to do it, because that same Mr. Miller that he knew back in 2021, 2022, to help him the way that I told him that I would. Because he was like, everybody was calling me my son anyway. I was like, But it was really good. It was really, really good to hear from him. Because I left a dollar. I left an address and a number. I didn't know what my address was going to be, and I didn't know what my number was going to be. But I left it to my folks, and they wrote and they found me. And I just got on Facebook probably about a month ago, so a whole bunch more people find it. And it's a good thing. It's really encouraging. And then, the best part about life is if you got an accountability partner, somebody that will help you be accountable, please allow them to. A lot of times people don't need that, but I know I need it. No, I can't tell you that I'm a drug addict, because I ain't never been high in my life. I can't tell you I'm alcoholic. I don't do that. I don't smoke weed. I ain't never had a party to. But I do know that you still got to have somebody that you're accountable to for whatever you got going on. That is the best. Somebody gonna say, no, hey, we ain't doing that. And then you don't know how strong a rope is until it gets tested. My rope has been tested a lot. It's been tested, see how strong the relationships are and stuff. I just thank God that God blessed me with one of the better families, and I feel like the best families in the world. I do. Man, I have not had to ask for anything since I get home. I've been home over 6 months, and I haven't had, and that is just a remarkable story, because it's some stuff that I did in the 90s, in 1997 and 98 that played big dividends in 2025. I was a part of an investment club. It was, police officers, DAs, FBI, mail carriers, and people like that. We was in the investment club. And I got arrested. I was embarrassed and everything. I'm not gonna contact these guys. No. But in 2025, they called the transitional center that I was at, and this guy got on the phone and called the second person in charge. He got the second person. I need another call. I'm like, okay. So she comes in there real loud that morning, waiting there, because I didn't go to bed until about 1 o'clock. It's about 9. So she was like, hey, Miller, somebody, they want you to call. I told him you don't have a phone yet, but you call him whenever you get a phone. I was like, okay. I knew the guy because we go way back. I'm like, what do you want? And he calls me, and he say, Miller, I got your money. Listen, man, he haven't heard from me in 25, 26 years. Miller, I got your money. I'm like, man, it was, I was only in the investment club. We were paying $50 a month. I was only in investment clubs for what, a year? So that was $600? He said, I got your money. I was like, man, you could have kept them a few pennies, But he said, no, I got your money. Now, I just found you, man. It's been a while. I said, a lot of years. I was really disappointed to hear what happened to you, but I got your money. I'm saying to myself, okay, you found me, maybe you're going to give me a little $600. It's not that $600 is small to me, but all he was telling me that he went through to find me. He said, no, it's 5 figures. I'm like, what? It's 600, I'm turning almost 10,000. And you telling me God won't give me? You was. See, those are the kind of things that God did for me. So after, you got the little investment club money, and then you got the job money, which is another $7,000, $8,000, you all right. Because I didn't waste my time. I didn't waste my time while I was incarcerated. I learned about credit. I learned about how to buy a car, a home, and everything else. I just moved in my own place last week. All by yourself, God's just good to me. Just because. My good and faithful servant. I can't tell you God didn't work hard. I did. I put in a lot of work. I gave a lot of energy. But the thing I did most is I learned, studied, and lived the word. And I learned, I'm not saying that I was perfect now. No, that ain't me. I'm saying I did with the help of God. If somebody else got a question, please.
So looking back, what would you tell the younger version of you before you did what you did? How would you stop you from doing it if you're working out in the community? What could you say to that person?
The thing I'm gonna say to a person is, this the best answer I got right here is, a lot of times a person would say, I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. My advice to you, no, learn from my mistakes. I've been there. I can tell you everything about it, so you don't have to go through that foolishness and garbage that I went through. I don't want you to go through none of that. So listen to me. Let me tell you, let me help you out. Let me show you everything, every situation. Bible got something in there for you. I had more favor than Joseph in prison, man. I had more favor than Joseph. And Joseph didn't do nothing wrong. I did something wrong. I had more favor than he did. So really, it's the best feeling in the world when I can come out and tell somebody about it. I will go out there, and that's what I'm doing now, is trying to help somebody not do what I did, get caught up. I got nieces and nephews, cousins, all these kind of people asking these questions. Uncle, I got this going on. Hey, let me tell you about this. But let me show you what to say the word. And then you give them life experiences. And that is what's so fun. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun to me. I love to talk. And then, but when they see it and they look at it, I'm like, no, dude, you ain't got to go through this. I done been there. Hey, go ask your uncle. He been through that. Go ask him what it was like. Because when somebody tell you, oh, yeah, I enjoy prison, I enjoy doing this, oh, I really like to get high and all that. No, let me show you. Let me show you what it takes not to do that because of consequences. Every action got a consequence. It has a consequence. So when you have to pay the price, we have to pay the price for it. That's what makes it ugly. When getting high, chasing women, drinking, oh, that's fun. That's fun. It used to be fun for me back in the day. I didn't get out. But, that was fun. But you're going to have to pay the piper. Down the road somewhere, if anything, you don't reap what say, reaping and something, you're going to reap what you sow. I believe in karma. I saw karma. Just because you think you were so much powerful than God, oh, let me show you something. Let me sit you down for a minute. That was a long minute. But the thing is, when I prayed so hard. I prayed so hard. Lord, before you let me out, I'm the only guy I think in the world ever prayed not to get out of prison. Lord, before you let me go, get it all. Because I'm going to be happy after this. I got more joy in my life right now than I ever had in my life. Than I ever had before. Lord, don't let me out till you get it all. Till you get everything that's going to keep me from being unhappy, get it all. Any more questions?
Were you saved at a young age or?
I was saved. I knew the Lord, but I didn't know how to live it because I didn't have a mentor. But, like I said, I moved back home for 15 months. I moved from Atlanta back to Mississippi. And I got to see a dad that was a worldly dad turn into a godly dad. And that was the best feeling in the world, man. I saw him and my mama loving on each other. I'm like, oh my God, I want this. I got to have this. And yes, I saw that. And I saw him mature. You know, a lot of people don't have what I had. I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm saying that a lot of people didn't grow up in a two-parent home. I did. I didn't have a reason to get in trouble. I did everything in my power to prison to my life, and it still happened. I got educated. I got a master's. Did you read it? I got a master's. If I was going active duty in the Air Force, I got a master's. I went to the city, and it seemed like I felt like I took over. And I felt like, oh man, ain't nobody gonna be a better police officer than me. Yeah. Everything I got myself into, I was like, God, pushing me to the front. So, yeah, I was saved, but I didn't know how to live because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have an accountability partner. That's a few of the things that prison taught me. How to have that freedom, how to trust somebody. I didn't have nobody I could trust. I knew, I got brothers, trust your brother. But anything outside of that, you just a guy. No, but really, I would say you were 10 years old. Yeah. But I never read the Bible. But when God sits you down, you take all other books, but the so many books you have, I read it like now. I read the whole Bible from Genesis to Revelation in probably about 100. Every page. From Genesis to Revelation. And for the next, 28 more times after that, I read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. And from Matthew to Revelations at least twice a year. So you learn and you learn and you learn. Every time you read it, you learn more and more and more and more. And you start craving it. I got away from it in the last couple of months now because I need a break because I felt like I've been overloaded. But that was the best thing I could do because I know where my foundation comes from now. That's what I built my foundation on. Once you build that foundation, that is the best thing you could ever have in your life. You could build that foundation. You build on the Lord. This says the Lord. All the things that you hear a preacher preach, you don't know where it comes from. But when you start reading it and studying it for yourself, then you're like, oh, okay. That's why we got a rainbow. That's why let your yays be yays and let nays be nays. That's why it's there. Yeah. Because all work brings a profit. Because God put it in his word. And you study and read and you start building foundation off of that, believe me, that's when you're going to get that complete joy. That's when you're going to get the joy. I walk around smiling. They thought something, he up to something. When I was in prison, they thought I was up to something because I was smiling so much. If they only knew, I got free 15 years before I got out of prison. I got free in 2010. I didn't get out until 2025. I got free. I wanted to bring my parents, the best parents anybody I could have. I wanted to bring the DA, the judge, my ex-wife. I blamed everybody. It was me. No, you ain't bigger than this. Let it show. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I sat down and got a grip on all of it. This is what I need to do, and this is the way it should be done. You know right from wrong. A lot of people think they know right from wrong, but if you got a foundation to show you right from wrong, that's when it's going to be, okay, now it makes sense. It didn't make sense at first. Now it makes sense. Since I got the foundation of the word. I thank God for it. And of course,
Still one left. A lot of guys lose their motivation. There is a why. What was your why? What kept you with your motivation?
Honestly, Lord, please let this come out right. See, I had to see. My motivation is God gonna keep his word. He promised me beautiful ashes. He promised me that he's gonna make the crooked places straight. He promised me his word that just hold on, it's gonna be all right. Be still and know that I'm God. What Jeremiah 32, 26, 27? I am the Lord God, the God of all flesh. Is anything too hard for me? Go through the appeal process and see. Go through the appeal process and everybody, at every level of it, they telling you no, when you know it's supposed to be yes. You're gonna get tested. But the best part about the test, if you pass the test and just hold on. All you gotta do is just hold on. And he showed me. He let me out of that joke, man. I got a few dollars in my pocket. I got a place to live. I got more clothes than I want to hand up. I told him I just moved to my own place, so I got to take all my stuff out of the totes and out the boxes, get my furniture stuff out of storage and all this kind of stuff and put it in the house. I got way too much. So somebody on a clothes shop or something like that, like to get some nice stuff. So I got too much. God bless me that much, man. I'm talking about I got a lot. It's not that I'm boasting. If I'm boasting in the Lord. Ain't that what the word say? If I'm boasting in the Lord. Because it was that good. It was really, really that good. It's really, really that good right now. I go to work. My work is you set your own hours, you go cut the yard or two, you have it. You get paid in cash. And you just have it. You're home, back home before noon, about 1 o'clock. Do it get any better than that? Really? The last thing I want to leave with you is, when I was a police officer, they went to this conference up in Chicago. Chicago is one of the worst, and some of the worst gang problems in all of this. And when the speakers got up, and he said, no matter what you got going on, all you got to do is continue to paint the wall. I said, man, y'all they're talking about painting some walls and all this junk y'all got going on. He said, no. He said, you paint the wall. You paint the wall. I paint the wall. But the gang, but the gang will come and put the graffiti on it and they're going to tag it again. He said, yeah, but you go back and paint it again. And you're like, what? Man, what? That's crazy. No. You keep on painting it. You keep on painting the wall until the person get caught or just get tired of you painting over what he put out there. So no matter what you got going on, continue to paint the wall. Continue to serve the Lord the way you learn to serve. He would not leave you or forsake you. I'm a living testimony. He never left me or forsake me. Even on those dark days when I don't want to do this no more. I can't do no, Lord, you sure you got the right person? I even said a few times, Lord, do it take all of this, these 25, look at this, man. I ain't never did nothing. I did this one little thing. And I got to do all of this. You take all this, I done learned my lesson. God said, yeah. I said, no. God said, yeah. I'm going to give you beautiful ashes. I'm going to give you whatever you need. I'm going to take care of all of your needs. I just thank God for it. I thank God for it. Continue to paint the wall. Continue to serve the Lord. Continue to do what you know in your heart is right. If you don't know, you got people that do. Ask somebody. Ask somebody and enjoy. Enjoy the life that he's put before you. Because you was put here to enjoy your life. It ain't that bad. The thing is, one of the counselors when I was in prison, there was a big help to me. She always said, it ain't that serious. You ever thought, Buster, something to get you back on track? Mine is but God. Hers word was, it ain't that serious. No matter what it is, it ain't that serious. It'll get you back on track. Anything trying to get you upset, it ain't that serious. But God will show up and he'll show out.
Al nostro genere con la gente ci sono di giallo e c'è una famiglia con i casalli.
Yeah.